problem, you kind of get to really kind of like the same thing where there might not be a substantial amount more of creators because you're fighting for a position in the same kind of way.
So do you think, because realistically speaking, I feel like everyone has, like, I say max 30 go-to kind of artists. Let's talk about music, from a Spotify to Apple Music, whatever you use. I think about 30 people you probably go back and listen to throughout a month, maybe even shorter than that. Mm-hmm. Do you think music, fashion, clothes, everything will be at a point that is so accessible that these parties would be bigger? You know what I mean? Like, I always tell people, like, to me, there's only like 4 people that we still wear to this day from the beginning of time, from like Raph, Rick, Alexander McQueen, Alexander Wang. Like, they don't have to put nothing else out, like nothing even new. They don't have to put nothing else, and we're going to continue to wear. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, do you think these, like I said, parties or collectives, whatever you want to say, will become bigger? Because, you know, like, I think of music, or not just music, but creatives and everything like that, like kind of like a draft class. So with football, you got X, Y, Z amount of draft. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Same thing with the NBA draft. You got X amount of rounds. I should say, rounds. Do you think the creative field will be like extremely huge, basically, to where it's like those 30 artists, maybe 60 to 100 now? You know, playlists I feel like are pushing that. That's why I feel like one thing playlists are doing that. Now you can have probably like 10 R&B artists that you like all in the same playlist. Mm-hmm. 20 rappers. You know what I mean? I just feel like being creative in general, I feel like it's gonna become so huge within the next couple of years. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen to doctors.
Oh, like, that's what you're saying.
Like, it's just gonna be such a huge thing, and it's not gonna be shocker anymore. Like, being shocked by, like, oh, you run a business. Like, okay, I'll tell one of my friends. I'm like, yo, sometimes it really scares me that, like, I can meet someone that's running a $1 million company on Instagram and not even know him ever. Mm-hmm. Not even hear a blog about him. Nothing. I'm like, damn, you're making millions of dollars off the internet and no one really knows, or not me. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of crazy to me to think, which has always probably been a thing. You know, there's millionaires that people don't know about. Yeah. But just to think, like, he has 3-4 M's on Instagram, or whatever. Just an example, 3-4 M's on Instagram, making tons of money, and no one really knows because the world's so saturated. Everybody's making their own millions. That's like, I don't know. That's kind of just crazy to think about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that we're gonna do away with doctors.
I mean, I know that.
Or like lawyers or something like that, but I do think that meeting someone who is a big creator, like, in your life, will become easier. Like a norm. Yeah. You know, will become like a thing that just kind of happens. Mm-hmm. And also, I also think that creators are kind of, a lot of the creators that you meet are creators who kind of bridge that gap, as far as, like, not just like your rappers or your singers or your this or your that, but you have a creator who is a like take like a graphic designer, and they're like a
photographer,
you know, or a social media manager type of thing. So it's like you're taking it from just, you know, being a creator, you know, drawing art, blah blah blah, and applying it to like a business model.
Got you.
And that's what I feel like has really changed and really grown for creators in this current generation, because
that's a great example.
You know, all of these things that we have, all these skills that we have, we're applying it in different kind of ways, in a way that actually can make sense to someone who's at a law office. You know, like a graphic designer says, hey, I'm gonna, you know, design your logos or this, that, and the third.
Yeah,
and
like my sister told me she wants to be like a psychiatrist or whatever, and she was like, people don't know, she looked this up, I think, if I'm not mistaken. She was just like, Google's marketing, they have a lot of psychiatrists on their team, so they can say and tell people, like, hey, this is how people look at this color. This is what usually makes them feel like this. So if you want to do a marketing towards X, Y, and Z, and I'm just like, wow. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure I kind of knew that if you really think about it. But like, then I was just
like all the big businesses, big businesses take a lot from every kind of area.
Exactly.
Because they need all that information to pick out who their perfect person is that they're trying to market, whatever they're trying to market.
But the reason why I brought her up was the fact that, like, I think it fits the exact thing you were just saying. Because to me, she went about something like, hey, I know I want to be a creative, or at least have, like, some type of sway on the creative world. Yep. But, you know, I still know I want to go to school, have a financial backing and all that. So let me go to school for this and use this in a way to be kind of creative. And I felt like that. I was shocked by it, honestly. I was like, wow, like, you want to go to school for this just to turn around. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be using your degree, but not to the point of what I think the degree was made for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was cool.
And that in of itself is creative, you know, taking this degree and kind of like molding it into whatever you want to make it into.
Exactly.
That's what a lot of people do now with business degrees. That was like a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, someone just go to school for business. That's what people, even like parents, tell their kids now. Like, if you don't know what you want to do, just go to school for business. You'll be able to use it some kind of way.
Yeah, I remember my math teacher. That's who made me want to go to school for business. I was like, he was so cool to me. His skater, wore clothes, like actual cool clothes. I'm like, how did you end up here? He was like, I didn't go to school for this. Like, I went to school for just have my business degree. He tried skating. He tried everything else. You know, he had his fun, and then became a teacher. And I was like, what, the business degree? Like, do you know anything? He was like, I know how to use numbers. Like, you feel me?
But did he like teaching, or was it just something that he fell into?
Yeah, something he fell into. I mean, it was more like, you know, if anybody before us, our generation before, was more like, I tried my fun. It may not have worked out, so I fell back on this situation.
Got it. See, and that's what I think is going to be like different. I feel like people are taking these business degrees and actually making lanes that they want to make, you know, nowadays. And it's a lot easier because of social media kind of thing. You can literally have your business degree and just be telling people what you learned in class on like a TikTok. And that's a career.
Yeah, and YouTube and everything.
Yeah, that's a literal career. Like everything that you learned in school, just like condensing it for a certain audience. That's really the beauty of social media, is that you have all these different audiences. And if you have an audience on Twitter, you can make money off of that audience just by telling them what you know. If you have an audience on TikTok, same thing. Audience on YouTube, same thing. You know, and if you have an audience on all the platforms, you know, you're really doing